Hello and welcome to this little tutorial on how to learn Python on your phone in the process of making a video game. Hopefully you'll find this an enjoyable way to learn a little bit of Python programming. And I'm going to start with something that might be a little bit more than what you thought you were getting into, mostly because I want to show you this is what it's going to look like. And there's going to be a lot of pieces that you might not understand. That's okay. The goal is for you to see that there's some pieces that you do understand. Even if you've never programmed before, you should be able to look at some of this and say, that makes sense to me. And then in future lessons, I'm going to start breaking things down piece by piece, make sure we cover all the importance. And of course, making a game while we're doing it, because this should be fun, and making games is fun. So first is I want you to get this Python 3 IDE or any other IDE for Python you can get on your phone. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It makes coding a lot easier, frankly makes it possible on your phone. You can choose something else. This is the one I'm going to use. It's the one I'm used to using. Python 3 IDE is not a sponsor or anything else. It's just the one that I happen to like the most. As you can see, I have a bunch of different things I've put on here, but I would like to do something brand new. So once you have yours downloaded and opened, we are going to make a new program, and I'm going to use that plus button in the upper left, and we are going to use a file, and I'm just going to name it game, because my creativity has not hit me yet. So what you're looking at now is just a blank file, program file. You see it's called game.py, and that py is the extension for Python. And we are actually going to start with something that you shouldn't understand unless you've actually done programming before. And it's an import function. I'm going to do import random. And all this does is lets us use random elements, which is kind of, an important part of most games. So I just wanted to do that right away and get it out of the way. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a very simple, just a text-based combat right now. You're going to have two characters, the player character and the enemy character. And they're just going to do a bit of a rock, paper, scissors type combat thing. So first, let's just do a print statement. Print is how we output stuff to the computer. And let's just have it say fight, because that's what we're going to do. Oops. So the way the print statement works is it's print, open parentheses, open quotes, whatever you want it to say. There are some exceptions. We'll get to that down the road. Close quotes, close parentheses. And if you want to just see where we're at already, if I hit the play button, I get an ad, and that'll keep happening. And then if you look at the bottom of the screen, I guess it's in the middle, you can see Python 3 is running, and then it says fight, and then it says Python 3 IDE run end. So it's that part in the middle that is our program right now. Just one other comment before we move on. I use the double quotes around fight. It is perfectly okay to use single quotes. And I might do that from time to time. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to start setting up some important information. So because we're going with a very simple game, the only thing we need to worry about is hit points. So if you have clicked on this, it's probably because you want to be able to make RPGs. I don't need to explain hit points to you, at least I hope not. And these are what are known as variables, and we are going to set an initial value for those variables. So I'm going to say player, and then capital H, capital P. Player HP equals, and let's give everybody 10. So that means you're going to start the game with 10 hit points. And we want the enemy to have HP too, so enemy HP, let's also make that equal to 10. Whoops, I forgot the equal button. There we go. Enemy HP is equal to 10. So now we have kind of set some initial conditions that the player has an HP of 10, the enemy has an HP of 10, and now we're ready to go. So that's a couple of things that I'm hoping you're able to understand already, even not being programmers. Let's get into something that's maybe a little bit more complicated, because I could have this set up where it's going to do one thing once. You get to choose what kind of attack you want to do, and then something happens, and then the game's over. We want to be able to continue to make this just keep running until something happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say battle equals true with a capital T. These are what are known as Boolean variables, and I'm setting it equal to true. So battle is true, and the reason I need to do that is because I'm going to use what's known as a while loop. So I'm going to say while battle. And what this means is that while this battle statement is true, this loop is going to keep happening. I did a colon, and you'll see that my cursor is now indented, and it's saying this grouping of code is going to keep running over and over and over again as long as battle is true. When battle becomes false, then it stops doing it. So what we're going to want to do is I was thinking of making it kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing. So what we'll do is we will print, let's do, I kind of want to make this really simple. We're just going to go 1, 2, or 3. What I had in mind is that this would be like a heavy attack, precise attack, or a counter attack, and all that stuff. But that's a lot of words. This is a small screen, and we're just trying to learn it, so we're not going to worry about the finer details. So those are your options, 1, 2, or 3. And we're going to make it that if you do one number higher than your opponent, then you get to successfully do the attack. If your opponent is one number higher than you, the opponent does the attack. If you both get the same one, neither one of you attack, or how about both of you attack? That's more interesting. And obviously, if one of you picks a 1 and one of you picks a 3, you got to figure out something for that. So we'll say 1 is technically 1 higher than 3 on a loop anyway. All right, so print 1, 2, or 3. Those are your options. Now we need to say, how do we as a program take in information from the user? Print 1, 2, or 3 just automatically happens, but if I want to take something in, I need to store my input in a variable. So I'm going to call it choice, and it's going to equal, oh, I don't like that you can't see where that is. And then I'm going to do something else that's a little bit important. Oops. Int, because we want our input to be an integer, so I have to do int and then input. And my open parentheses again there. You can put stuff inside the input. In fact, I probably didn't need to do the print statement. I could have just done choice equals int input, and then the quotes 1, 2, 3 in there. I didn't do it that way, and I'm not going to change it, even though I totally could. Okay, so now the player has made a choice, what type of attack they want to do, the 1, the 2, or the 3. And here's where that first thing that I did comes into play. I did a random module import, and that's going to allow me to just randomly pick a number here. So what I'm going to do is I'll call it en choice for enemy choice. This is not the best in terms of choosing the names of my variables, but once you've learned more, you can come back and criticize this video for all the things that I'm not doing perfectly, and I'm okay with that. All right, so enemy choice is equal to, we're going to do random dot randint in parentheses 1, 3, and this means that the variable n choice is going to take a random integer value from 1 to 3 inclusive. So 1, 2, or 3. So now we as the player have made a choice, and then the computer has made a choice for the enemy, and then we have to figure out what happens from there. So there's a lot of different ways we can do this, and we're going to do if statements. And let's do this. If choice is equal to, and you'll notice I did double equal to, that's not assigning value, that's checking to see if two values are equal. So if choice is equal to n choice, and we're going to do another colon, which means another indent, And we just said that this would be both get to attack, right? Just so that the game doesn't take forever. Then we're going to say player HP. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. This ID allows for shortcuts, but it keeps showing the ad anytime you try and use it. So anyway, player HP, and we are going to subtract from it. And the way we do that is minus equals, and let's say it does an amount of damage between 2 and 4. So we're going to do that random integer thing again. So let's go random dot randint. Oops, or randont. How about randint? 2, 4. How did I miss the parentheses? It's probably easiest to just try again. 2, 4. There we go. And since both are getting attacked, we're going to say also that the enemy HP is also going to lose. So minus equals random dot rand int 2, 4. And then let's just say what happens. So we're going to say print both hit. All right, but now we also, actually, you know what, the next thing I was going to say, let's save that for a little bit further down. All right, so both hit, great. If that doesn't happen, so now I need to back up so I'm not indented anymore. If something else happens, we can just use else, but because this isn't going to be the end of it, let's do what's known as elif. So elif, let's say choice is equal to, double equal to, how do I want to do this? I'm trying to think if there's a great way to do that. Let's not overthink it. So if choice is double equal to enemy choice plus 1, meaning that we picked one that was 1 more than that. Or, let's do a block of code here. So if it's equal to the enemy choice plus 1, or choice equals 1, and enemy choice equals 3. So that way, if we pick 2 and they pick 1, or we pick 3 and they pick 2, or now we said if we pick 1 and they pick 3, except you have to spell the word right or it doesn't work. And choice, there we go. That means we're going to hit. So even though we did it in a different order last time, let's do print you hit, and I can probably get rid of that. Oh, that didn't help. That helps. Okay. I hit that little arrow thing next to the trash can, which gave me some more space. I don't know why I didn't think to do that earlier. All right, so print you hit, and we also want to do that same thing that we did before. Now the enemy is going to lose the hit points. So enemy HP minus equals random dot randint 2, 4. And then finally, we can use just the regular old else. I don't have to worry about all the other possible conditions because any other thing that could happen that remains falls into this last thing. So else is kind of going to be a catch-all for if one of these things doesn't happen. And then we'll write, or print, I should say, enemy hits. And that means we lose hit points. So player HP minus equals random.randint 2, 4. All right, so that's all my logic, but now we need to check other things. So first, let's actually do a formatted print statement. So this is going to say print parentheses, and if I put the F before I put the quotes, that's a formatted print statement. And the reason I want to do this is so that I can kind of display how much hit points everybody has. So we'll say my goodness, I cannot spell today, your HP. And then if you want to just input a variable into what you're doing, you can do that with the curly braces. So player HP. Where'd those curly braces go? There they are, excuse me. And enemy HP. It's funny, it gave me a period even though I didn't ask for it. Oh well. And we'll do the old curly braces thing again. And enemy HP. I actually called it by the variable name in my string. That's okay. Close my quotes. And so now we have our print statement. And it's going to say your HP is whatever you have left. Enemy HP is whatever the enemy has left. I'm fully aware that at some point that's going to be negative, and that's okay, because we're going to check that out now. So if, how about your player HP is less than 1. We'll say if you're at 0, you're down. And put a space, that's okay. So if player HP is less than 1, print, you lose. And we also want to say that battle is equal to false with the capital S, because the battle is over, so battle is no longer true. And then we want to say basically the same thing for the enemy. So if enemy HP, oops, I had a space up there. If enemy HP is less than 1, print, you win. Exclamation point. Let's make this exciting. And then again, we're going to say battle equals false. And that way it will end the loop. So, assuming there aren't any errors, this should actually work. So let's go give it a try. I'm going to press this play button. And, okay, so fight 1, 2, or 3. And let's start with a 1. And it says both hit. Your HP is 6, enemy HP is 8. So I got hit a lot worse than they did. So you have to click on this little on the screen where our output is displayed in order for it to work. Oh, ignore that. Sorry about that. No big deal. I'm not even going to edit that out. All right, now I'm going to press 2. Well, it just makes sense. I mean, you know, when you're on your phone, sometimes you get notifications about things. All right, so we both hit again. So I'm down to 3. The enemy's down to 6. We're both hitting, but he's getting much better stuff than me. Let's try 3. We both hit again. I died, and I lost. Okay, so it works, we think. The only question I have is we wound up with both hit all 3 times. There's a 1 in 27 chance of that happening by luck alone. So I actually want to run this again and see. Oh, it didn't clear out. How about that? Okay. See if we can get some of those other things or if there's something wrong with our code. Aha, we have an error. Interesting. Choice and choice plus 1 and more arguments. Okay. And, oh, haha, spelling error, right? ENCOICE. So this is the debugging process that everybody loves so much. ENCHOICE. And now let's try running it again. Should have cleared that up before I did it. Oh well. So let's try 2 again. So I hit. My HP is 10, enemy is 7. And if we can get the enemy to hit us, then we'll feel a lot better. So enemy hits, your HP 7. Okay, this is looking good. Let's finish out this battle and then call it a day. It would be nice if I could win one. You know, I made my own game. I should be able to beat my own game. Oh, I lost. Oh well. Maybe after the video I'll play again until I win. Anyway, like I said, there's a lot going on here. I don't expect a beginner to understand every single thing that I did there, but I'm hoping that you're getting a little bit of a flavor for what Python programming is like, and then it's not this crazy, you need to speak a foreign language to understand it. I mean, we have words like true and if and while, random, print, you know, so this doesn't have to be this unattainable thing that only, you know, the smartest people on the planet can do. And then please check in for future videos. Hopefully by the time you've seen this, some more are already up. We're going to start breaking these things down one at a time. I'm going to start the next video with just the whole print and input, the input-output aspect of Python programming. We'll go into a little more detail, but I think the important thing for you as a learner is that we're going to start breaking it down step by step. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll catch you next time.